HxH is considered to be one of the greatest shonen stories ever published in Shonen Jump, but our paths have never crossed until now. Over the past year, I became curious as to why people hold it to such a high standard, and last year, I began my journey through the known world of HxH. I'm BLITZ from ACWAN, and today I'll be reviewing one of the best adventures I've encountered in shonen, HxH. Before I begin my review of HxH, I just wanted to make it clear that I went into the series knowing nothing about it, apart from some of the most famous memes shared about this series, and asking a couple of people who had watched it their opinion on the series, and surprise, surprise, all of it was positive. With that being said, let's get straight into the video. The story begins all because this guy didn't want to raise his son and thought being adventurous was better than looking after your kid. Okay, right, jokes aside, as all of you know, we follow the story of Gon Freecss, a 12-year-old boy who is in search of his father, who is said to be one of the greatest hunters. With this as his main goal, we follow him on his ever so challenging journey as he searches for his father, who doesn't want to be found. No, I'm being serious. He literally says he doesn't want to meet his son. Gon obviously steps up to the challenge of finding his father and begins his journey. As the memes say it, HxH can be summarized as professional hide and seek. Now, even though the story of HxH seems shallow on the surface, I assure you, it is deeper than it seems. This series prides itself on deceiving viewers, and not in a bad way. From the very first opening, we're baited into believing that this will be a slice of life anime filled with happiness and joy, but it is truly the opposite of our initial assumption. I can't count the amount of times this series shocked me, but over time you get used to it as you understand that Gon and Killua are kids that walk the path of adults. It is for this reason that we see these kids mature much quicker than your average 12-year-old. Now don't get me wrong, they're still kids and Togashi makes sure to remind us of that, but the situations Gon and Killua are put in force them to mature much quicker mentally. One of the things I enjoyed about the story of HxH is how every arc flowed from one to another, with each arc playing its role in progressing the story in some way, shape or form. I'll be ranking my favorite HxH arcs at the end of the video for those of you who are interested in that list. Although some of the arcs drag on for quite a bit and seem to divert from the main goal of the series, Togashi makes sure to give reason for it whilst reminding us that the ultimate goal is still to find Gon Freecss, as he has left clues along Gon's path. HxH also has an interesting array of characters. I'm not going to dwell on characters for a very long time as this is no analysis but an overall review of the series, but do comment below, which you probably won't do, if you would like an analysis on a certain character within the known world of HxH. Now to make it clear, I liked almost every character Togashi introduced to us over the course of this series, with one of my favorite being Mr. Pompadour himself, Knucklebine. There are very few characters I dislike, but they don't deserve the attention anyways. So, I'd like to briefly discuss the characters that stood out to me the most in this entire series, and these are characters that I believe Togashi developed to the fullest in my opinion. Killua Zoldyck serves the role of the stoic or serious best friend in this series, but Killua is very different from the stereotypical supporting role. Through this series, we follow Killua's path from darkness to light. Being brought up in a family of assassins and having endured excruciating pain through training and his upbringing, it is no surprise that Killua gave us a dark presence at the beginning of this series, but transitions from darkness to light as he fights to forget his family's teachings in order to accompany Gon on his challenging journey. Through the story, we see Killua struggling between choosing family or friends, and watch the series to find out how that goes. The next character is obviously Gon. Gon is obviously one of the characters that received a huge amount of spotlight as he is the main character after all. But I will be brief with him as we all know how things unfold with his character. Gon is one of the most beautifully written MCs in Shonen, and as I watched his journey unfold, I only wished I had completed HxH in time to mention him within my top 5. We often scream about character development without knowing what it really means or how to identify it in characters, even if it's subtle changes in the way they behave towards certain things. I mention all of this because the way in which Togashi wrote Gon's descent into darkness is a thing of beauty, and it is something that should be discussed more. The beauty in the writing of Gon's character is something I could not go this entire video without mentioning. But now, onto the last character, Meruem. I had heard about Meruem prior to watching the series. All I knew about him was how strong and cool he was supposed to be, and to be honest, he was not what I expected from his time of birth. Born to be the king of the Chimera Ants, the first lives he takes are that of his mother, Peggy, and a poor child who was working in the fields. I hated Meruem from that very moment, but little did I know what Togashi had in store for me. Meruem's character transitions over time as he fights between being an ant and acting as a human, with the latter being possible because of Komugi. Now, I understand that many people are upset with the way in which he died, but all I ask is for you to consider who would have defeated him after the strongest hunter, Chairman Netero, failed to. I believe that I am one of the few that find Meruem's death fitting and beautiful, as he died beside the one human he truly cared about. At the end of it all, he was defeated by the nature of those he was born to conquer. Now, every series has a power system, and HxH is no different in that aspect. Nen is a well thought out power system and may be the most complex I've come across yet. It was so difficult to understand the first time round that I had to watch the explanations a few times over to grasp the basic concepts of it and have an understanding of it. Knowing that controlling aura nodes is the first step to mastering Nen, its major principles and advanced techniques, the 6 categories, and Nen limitations. There's so much to Nen, it's no wonder Gon's brain is always fried. Although it is a very unique and complex power system, it is not perfect. Now, to make myself clear, I'm not saying I have a problem with Nen as a whole, but rather how inconsistent it is at points. This is not to bash Togashi, as I am not capable of coming up with anything better, but I can have an opinion on it, right? My biggest problem regarding Nen came during the whole Chimera Ant arc. Now, I understand the royal guards got the latent aura of thousands of humans to the point that it naturally unlocked their aura nodes to enable them to use Nen, and that regular ants unlocked their aura nodes via initiation. But what I was really troubled about were the ants' ability to use Nen easily, and even better than either Gon or Killua, who took several months training with Bisky to use Nen efficiently, whereas with the ants, it would be a case of learning it in a matter of days. The ants came up with their Nen abilities much quicker than the average hunter exam graduate. My only explanation for this is that Togashi is showing how quick the ants learn as compared to humans. But hey, if you can make it make sense, be sure to drop the explanation down in the comment section so I can read it and understand. Before I wrap up my review of HxH, I wanted to take a moment to rank the arcs of this series, beginning with my least favorite. At number 7, the 13th Hunter Chairman Election arc. At number 6, Greed Island. At number 5, Zoldyck Family Arc, the Hunter Exam Arc. At number 3, Heaven's Arena Arc. At number 2, Chimera Ant Arc. And at number 1, York New City. Now I have concluded the anime adaptation of Hunter x Hunter, and I am fully aware that the journey is not over yet, as I now prepare to dive into the lands of the Dark Continent in the manga and join all of you guys in waiting for the return of HxH. I want to thank those of you that made it this far into the video. We appreciate the support in any way, shape or form, be it liking, disliking, commenting or sharing. You can follow me on Twitter at BLITZ to discuss anything Hunter x Hunter related. Have a dang great day, and Mist, you know what you always say.
Like I always say, what you know about anime?